Well, hello, fellow addicts. Welcome back to Addicts Live, the only live show on the internet crazy to talk about a silly little game. And silly it is. For those who don't know me, I'm Alyssa, your resident head addict. And if you can see, and as you can see, I'm coming live from outside my house today. I apologize in advance for the random background noise you may hear. You know, we've already heard birds and planes and trains and all kinds of automobiles. Hopefully my Wi-Fi won't freeze too bad, and hopefully we won't have such issues. According to me, I'm frozen right now, so we'll see. But I just had no ability to do it from inside the house today, so sorry for the craziness. And we're joined this week by the one, the only, Super Safi.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
And joining us live from his car, don't worry, he's not driving, is the one, the only cranky old guy, a.k.a. Patrick.
Hey, I promise I won't put you in my pocket this time. So
yeah, that was rough last week. That was rough.
Yeah. Sorry, I went back and looked at it, and I just thought, oh, they were being very polite. They should have told me to hang up a long time
ago. I thought it was entertaining.
Well, the one guy asking if somebody spoke English was amusing.
Yeah, well, the good news is we loaded an entire container, 575 boxes of hospital supplies that day. So I was sore afterwards. Let's put it that way.
That's really good, though.
It's well worth it.
It was cool. Yeah, sorry about the rugged pocket journey, though, you guys had to take. So anyway. All right.
And unfortunately, the Wookster won't be able to join us this week. My kid is behind me, by the way, in case you can't see, who is...
I was going to say,
she's playing with the wood. She's trying to lock me out of the house. The Wookster can't join us this week. The House of Mouse is calling him once again, so hopefully we'll get him back soon. Hopefully. So now it's time for your regular reminder. This is meant to be interactive for those watching it live. So share your questions, ask your comments, and join in the fun. Don't mind the toddler behind me. So let's get started.
This is a little bit like a horror movie where we have the quiet person and then like the Chucky character is behind you. Yeah, she's just like figuring out ways to take you out. Next time she'll show up with a knife, and then she'll have a large weapon. And
she's like all about. She's all about trying to. You see her? She's like, what's going on? She's waving. She sees Mr. Patton and Mr. Safi. So anyway, let's get started. Aside from that craziness. Here we are, Act 3 of Springfield Jobs. Finally. Feels like it's been forever, huh, guys?
Yes.
Kind of has.
Now that we're into Act 3, it's time for our final Springfield Jobs poll. So take a minute to answer the poll question below. And it is, rate the Springfield, or how would you rate the Springfield Jobs event? Your choices are great characters, great buildings, but Act 3 concept is getting old. It was okay, I just wish it was shorter. It wasn't bad, wasn't great, somewhere in the middle of the road. Awesome, A+++, and terrible event. So take a minute, answer that, and we'll share those results shortly. So guys, what are your thoughts on Act 3, the prizes, content format, all that fun stuff?
I can't figure it out. I mean, it's like I said, I think, on the last super long one, is that to me, it feels like they had a whole bunch of stuff they couldn't figure out what to do with in other acts, and so they just threw it in, some other event. I mean, none of it makes any sense to me at all. We're in like 5 different countries, and then we go to The Hague. It's like, what? I mean, in the same act, we have the Caribbean and palm trees, and then we go to The Hague. And so my thing is with The Hague is that, yes, it's an international court, and the EA producers for this event should be tried in international court. It was terrible. I mean, this last act is just silly. I could not care less at this point.
How do you really feel? I don't know that we want to know how you really feel. Got to keep this show G-rated.
I know. Well, I didn't use any other analogies. Anyway, go ahead.
Safi, your thoughts on...
Safi likes it because he's always my yang. right?
So I was just going to say that I think this was the best act of the whole year. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to say that just to be the yang to his yin.
Yeah,
But,
that's right.
no, yeah, I couldn't. Maybe not as strong hatred, but yeah, I agree. This one's a little bit more disorganized than the first two acts, and I agree. They kind of, it's just like a grab bag of everything they could have just thrown in to kind of make a whole act. There's really no rhythm or rhyme to it. I haven't got to the crime scene, so I don't know if it'll make a little bit more sense when I unlock the scene.
Won't.
But
you can watch it. There's a draft post sitting in drafts if you want to with the video in it. You can watch it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely not as fun as Act 1 and 2 in terms of plot or storyline or the cohesiveness. And from a design standpoint too, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to organize into like one nice little area. I think everything's going to be all over the place. Could have some items going into my casino district, some in my international area, and yeah, so it's great that we get a lot of characters again this act, but the characters, and we got some voice characters, but they're not the strongest characters or the most memorable ones, and they're kind of from all over the place.
So
you're not the strongest characters. I like the way you phrase that. So it's so Canadian. You're so polite. They're not the strongest characters.
So, I mean, you guys are missing the key point with this event. It's not Bart Royale.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, this is true. I mean, there was actually parts of Bart Royale that I liked better than this last act. I mean, this last act, to me, blows the event up. The first two acts were okay. And I actually did some nice designs. My England town, I love. It's really fun. I don't have any idea where this stuff's going to go. I really don't. I mean, it's like scattered all over the place.
My whole thing is, like every event, Act 1 starts off really good. You have some good, solid content. Act 2, you've got some random. Well, it's not really random. Act 2 was England, and Pat, I think you enjoyed it because of that. But
Yeah.
you had mostly buildings. You didn't really have. You'd one character, and the character didn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense in the scheme of everything else. But Act 3, I honestly think the prizes in Act 3 are better than the prizes in Act 1. Yes, they are random, or not Act 1, Act 2. Yes, they are random. They are mismatched, but you don't have you didn't get a ton of really like big buildings that might be difficult to fit in your Springfield. Just saying. Right now, I'm not the biggest fan of the UK, so.
No, I think it comes down to theme. Is that it worked out? It was easy for me to do canals and separation and stuff for the first two acts. The only one that didn't fit, as you pointed out, was Nigel, and the penthouse went clear over into Springfield Heights. It didn't fit in with the rest of the stuff, and the big Ferris wheel went down to my carnival area that's down by my Vegas, which is where the new casino ended up. So, but the rest of this stuff, I have no idea where it's going to go. Like I said, the hay is going to go maybe up by Canada now because Safi's been so nice about it. I'm going to put the international court up by Canada, but we'll let it go from there. So it is further north than anything else. So it's just not, to me, it's just like they're just torturing us at this point. It's grindtastic at the very least. And I'm kind of at this point where I'm going to, I could have gotten the whole video thing today. And I just said, nah, I'll wait till tomorrow. I don't care. I'm that far ahead. I just don't care.
Well, I mean, so looking at everything that came with Act 3, so the prize-wise, you had the casino, the money casino. You also had Monty Burns Resort Casino, but you had just the straight-up money casino. Then you had Fernando, International Court of Justice, and then you had Fit Tony. What about these things?
What do those have to do with? I mean,
well, the one thing they have in common. One thing they have in common is they're all from The Simpsons. So.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I mean you just hit it on the head though. We already have a real Monty Burns casino from the original first great event. I mean that casino event, the first one was great. It was one of the best ones they've ever done. And then to come back and kind of backlash and go, oh yeah, here's another couple of casinos that don't really fit represented anywhere. And again, don't get me started on Fit Tony. I am so tired of these doppelgangers. I'm like ready to lose it on doppelgangers. I don't need them. They're all
But
over
it's
my
not
town.
a skin.
No,
It's not a
I know.
skin.
I understand that. I would
But
prefer it with a skin.
But it's like, you know, you've got, it's almost like you have Vegas meets Monte Carlo meets, I think, I don't know, where's Fernando from? Is he from Mexico or?
They actually never told us.
And then you've got the International Court of Justice, which I think is in the Netherlands, isn't it? Like the actual.
Yeah, it's in The Hague. Yeah.
And then you have Fit Tony. So it's like,
No.
And then and then with the crafting, you've got you know, an ATM. Okay, well, casino ATM, that sort of makes sense. Then you've got the Island Capitol building and the Resort Hotel. And then you've got the fountain, the fancy oval fountain, the first Prime Minister of Australia, like WTF, like why is that in here?
Right.
And then you've got the race car statue. So it's like, like I said, it's like you got Monte Carlo meets, and then the premium character is Raul, who's Miami, like Cuba and Miami. So it's like you've got Miami, Monte Carlo, little islands.
It's like Ocean's 26 or something. I don't get it at all. It's very confusing.
It's very strange. And then
the worst part for me again is that it doesn't hang together. The buildings, most of the buildings are probably going to go in storage, but I now have like 2,400 or 2,500 in crafting currency. I'll probably have like 4,000 by the time I'm done, and I'm not going to buy a single more anything else. I don't want any more guards or, you know, random buildings or whatever. I just don't want them. I got one of each. I'm done. Thank you very much. Move on. This should have been a 4-week episode, a 4-week event, period.
Not 32.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I mean, again, EA, lazy.
All right, so Ebron says, this event started strong. Italy and the Art Museum were great additions, and then Act 2 had some beautiful buildings. Act 3 was just thrown together. Another event where the third act of the event was totally unnecessary and was just filler. So totally.
It's very Back to the Future trilogy. They just screwed it with a third one.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we
it's very disjointed.
We just didn't need it, you know, along anything. Oh, I have coffee showing up. Okay.
That's what you need. More pep in your step.
Now he can really tell us what he feels.
That's right. Yeah, wait till I'm wound up. No, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to be coming back to my regular gripes later on in the show. But yeah.
Cake for later.
Okay, thank you.
So, I mean, it's one good thing about the event in general was all the characters that were added. I love when they add characters because they're always characters are a great money making thing to have in your town, and especially because you can use the unemployment building and send everybody at once. Those are really nice. And I love the fact that it was all characters and not skins. That was also nice. And a massive chunk of them are voiced, which is fun because you've got so many different voices now popping out when you open up a building or when you clear a building. It's hilarious. And the things that some of them say are just great.
I mean, and apparently now we'll have more reasons for Hank Azaria and the other voice guys to apologize later on. In 4 years, we'll hear about it later on.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Sorry.
But that was one positive. I mean, there were a ton of characters, which is always nice, and they were voiced, which we haven't had a lot of voice characters hit our game in a really long time. So that was nice. That was a really nice. I don't want to say surprise, but almost like a surprise when you unlock some of these characters that they are voiced. Of course, we need some more classic characters back. Like, I'm still waiting for Sarah. I'm hoping Mother's Day. I mean, listen, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but, you know, it's almost Mother's Day. We'll see.
Our New Year's episode, I said 2019, so we'll see. You two said 2018, I said 2019, so we'll see.
So, again, not wanting to go total gripe fest, but it's too late.
He's had his coffee, folks.
Yeah, I haven't had coffee yet. The other thing that I'm noticing a trend. This is a trend. I want to watch this for a while. Hardly any of the premium items that you actually buy have any kind of bonus multiplier. I think in the entire event, there was only one, maybe two, that even had a bonus multiplier at all.
Well, there weren't a lot of decorations. It was a lot of buildings this time, and generally buildings don't have them. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, this was definitely a character building heavy event, which people have been asking for. So if you go back, a couple of events ago, people were like, "We need more characters. We need more buildings. I'm tired of all these decorations." So, I mean, you're always going to have that.
They are, but I'm just saying they need to get together and ask for the right thing. Anyway.
All right. Well, let's get to the poll results here. If I can bring them up. I'm not as organized as I usually am. Not on my computer. All right. So the question again was, how would you rate the Springfield Jobs event? And we had.
Let me say hi to her.
No, just here. Go ahead.
All right. So 36%, great characters, great buildings, but Act 3, the 3-act concept is getting old. 31%, but it was okay. It was okay. I just wish it was shorter.
We're in the car.
25% is, it wasn't bad. Wasn't great, somewhere in the middle of the road. 5% said awesome, A+++, and 3% said terrible event. So not many of you thought it was a terrible event, which I think is where we all are too. It's not terrible. Like Bart Royale was definitely worse.
Not even sure.
Way worse.
No, it was two good acts and one really stupid one.
And then like only 5% thought it was phenomenal, and then everybody else was like middle of the road, or it was okay. You just wish it was shorter, or the 3-act concept is getting old. So, I mean, that's a pretty good chunk. It was just. It's like a so-so event, middle of the road, but, just too long. Just like everything else, just too long.
Yeah, I think we said that from the beginning, and it's almost as if EA isn't listening to us. I mean, we said that from the very beginning. Make them 4. Make Christmas stands out as the way to do an event. Get the idea there, EA. We liked it. We loved it. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
So, is that where do you guys stand on that ranking? You on the is just too long, or are you on the 3-act concepts getting old?
That's the same question twice. Yes, it's too long, and the 3-act thing is old. Yeah.
Well, the 3-act concept, like something different. I mean, it could be the same length of time.
I'll go with 2 acts. Again, go back to Christmas. It was perfect. What is wrong with perfection? I don't understand it. It's like, okay, this was perfection. Do that 10 times more. We'll be happy.
So what if you had to choose between 6 6-week events a year like they do right now, or only 6 4-week events and just a lot of downtime, like over half your year being downtime? Would you be okay with that?
No, just do mini events in between like they do anyway. I would like a week off once in a while. I mean, they used to have 4-week events and mini events, and then there'd be like a week with nothing, it's like, okay, you can design, you can have a life. Life is good, But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to go back to that. But I would prefer shorter events in between, little, tie-ins, quickie things in and out. Even if they're premium driven, I don't care at this point. But the 6-week thing, and now this time being 7 weeks, it's like, please, I mean, you can't keep a theme sustained for 7 weeks.
So everybody heard it here. Patrick said if another event is premium heavy, he'd be okay with that. So when he complains, we can all circle back to this.
I don't complain anymore now that I'm a Safi farmer. I don't complain about premium anymore. In fact, this time I have donuts I don't know what to do with. It's bad. I've become assimilated to the dark side. Or Safi's side, it's not really dark. It's like light. It's like gray. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just in between. It's just
so you're in the gray area.
Yeah, no, he's just right. He's like the perfect bowl of porridge for the three minutes.
To answer Safi's question, I personally, it depends on. From a blogging standpoint, I hate downtime because then there's nothing to write about. Mm-hmm. From a player standpoint, I don't mind downtime. Like, I'm personally trying to finish this act so I don't have to deal with it for another week. and I don't really have to go into my game. So I don't mind the downtime as a player, as a blogger.
Because let's just say from EA standpoint, I mean, I agree with you guys. These 6 weeks are getting old and long, but they pay for 6 events, large events, and 6 mini events a year usually. So that's 6 times 6 and 6 times 2, 48 weeks in the year, and they give us like 4 weeks of downtime roughly, where they usually throw in an episode. That's what they do right now. I mean, like 6-week events. If they were to switch it to like 6 4-week events and the 6 mini events for 2 weeks, then you're looking at an extra 12 weeks off a year. So instead of having 4 weeks of downtime a year, you got 16 weeks of downtime a year. You like, I don't know, like,
just doing math in his head.
Sorry,
He's got
complicated math, but I'm like, huh?
He has a spreadsheet.
I'm actually not using a spreadsheet right now, but yeah, okay. So yeah, like 16 weeks of downtime a year. I don't know if they want to, like, as a business model, have that. If they're worried about new players coming and not having something to do, being bored, or even longtime players not having something to do, if that's why they keep the 6 act going, that's my guess.
The only problem with your premise is that they can't come up with anything more for tie-ins or small 1-week event runs, those kinds of things. And I don't believe that, because they used to do it. I don't believe it. It's doable. You know,
Well,
even if they are guild deals or whatever, you know, or guild tie-ins. That's not hard to do. They used to do them.
They did used to do guild stuff on its own, and then they just started adding them to events to kind of couple them all together. So they don't generally do just a random guild deal anymore. But I mean, we've looked back at the schedule, and really these long events aren't really much anything new. I mean, really, events have never really been 4 weeks. I mean, very rarely did we get a 4-week event. A lot of stuff was really long, and everything felt dragged out. I mean, remember Krusty Land? How long Krusty Land was? That was like...
but here's a compromise. So this one was 7 weeks, roughly.
This was too long.
What I would do is go 2 acts and make it 5 weeks. If you're worried about the weeks, the timing, whatever, just cut it back to the point where you can live with it. That's not, I mean, now, I don't know how that messes up your spreadsheet, Safi, but try running it with 5
No,
weeks,
I did.
You know?
That actually works pretty well. So then you got 30 weeks there, and you got...
I have management potential.
That would take care of 30 weeks there, plus 12 weeks of mini events, 42 weeks, leaving with just 10 weeks of downtime in between here and there, where they could fill it in with episode tie-ins and
how
everything.
many toothpicks got dropped, Safi?
57.
57, okay.
All right, let me take some reader thoughts about the event. Jay Cooley says, overall, I think this event is pretty good. Multiple freemium characters in the prize track, nice craftables, utilize the different set of characters than normal event. Biggest negative for me was most of the prizes were one-offs from the show, and none of the prizes stuck out to me as a must-have. There's a dog. It's not my dog, promise.
I thought that was just your daughter doing her dog imitation.
Could be. It could be. Elad says, this event should go down as one of the best ever. Great content, fab buildings, loads of characters, easy to complete, and even though it seems excessively long, you can mostly play your normal game. This event feels like a sideline to the game, whereas the last few years the game has felt like a sideline to events. Hope this event doesn't get a bad rap due to unrelated issues with the
backlist
that validly are causing complaints.
That's an EA troll bot that just sent that in.
No, she's commented a few times. Let's see. Hope this event doesn't get a bad rap due to the unrelated issues that validly are causing complaints across the game, i.e. rollback glitch, item limits, lack of land tokens for land buying, etc. Those with valid gripes, but separate from the event. And thank you to the Addicts crew, Addicts commenters, and addicted followers and addicting friends. I don't say that often enough, so thank you all. Amy says, there's an EA bot. Amy says, I'm really liking the content of the event, including the new characters, buildings, and decorations, but as much as I love major events, I just think this one is way too long. I'm ready for it to be over, and I'm looking forward to whatever new stuff is going to be coming next. Jack says, none of the poll options quite fit my opinion. I think the event was too long and the 3-act concept is a bit old. Acts 1 and 3 were middle of the road, but Act 2 was A++, as I absolutely love the London buildings, and I think I have a nice London area in my Springfield now. Elad
Yeah, we
also
do have
adds,
a fairly large English contingent, so that makes sense to me.
let's see. Hang on. My battery's going to die on my laptop. Don't mind me.
So in the meantime,
It was plugged
What
in,
we're gonna
guys.
find out
I
is that
promise.
Alyssa's been living in an alley for the last 3 years, and we didn't really know it. She's been stealing power from the neighbors.
It was plugged in. But for some reason, this outlet isn't working.
so we just like to point out as a reminder to everyone watching that
There we
tomorrow
go.
night, The Simpsons is going to have a record-breaking episode. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night. There'll be an episode reminder later today.
I was kind of bummed that Hank Azaria was on Colbert Report, and virtually all they talked about was the whole Apu thing, and not the big record-breaking, longest-running, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was kind of lame, but
They mentioned it.
yeah.
All right.
Not a big deal. I mean, it's when you think about the fact that Gunsmoke was on for about during a time when there was hardly anything else on in competition. It's quite an accomplishment, frankly.
All right, so a couple more comments about the event, and then we're going to jump to something else. Elad says, forgot to add 3 acts. 3-act long events are okay-ish if they're not all time-consuming and distracting from the main game. But 3-act long events for me, as someone who travels a lot and doesn't always have a connection, are a problem for playing catch-up. If you are available to play a lot at the start of the event, it's easy to catch up later if you miss something. If you start off behind, you stay behind. I think that's used in an unfair manner. See? Not an EA trollbot.
Yeah, I don't see how you stay behind, really. I mean, you'd have to really miss a lot these days. These last 2 acts, I was finished so early.
And Fred says EA needs to start utilizing neighbors as they have in the past. At this point, why have more than 10?
Yeah, true. Good point.
And Ebron says, we need more downtime. More and more of my neighbors are becoming ploppers. I think there's just not enough downtime to design before the next wave of building hits.
That's what I'm gonna start using Ebron as the plopper police, because she hates it as much as I do. And I got it. Well, we'll talk about this in a second, but I was deluged with people that wanted me to look at their towns, and I'm trying to be polite, but man, there are a lot of ploppers out there that still thought their towns were great. No, if you're a plopper, no, you're not going to get a video. Sorry.
No Ebron also says, is there a trend here? Both Alyssa and Patrick have been moved out of the house, and is Safi going to be broadcasting from Starbucks next week?
I actually may be outdoors for an upcoming episode, so we'll see.
There we go.
All right. Any other thoughts on Springfield jobs?
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
Okay.
It's not over, but I'm glad it's over.
All right. We've got about a week and a half left of the event. So thoughts on what might be coming next?
I don't know. Sarah Wiggum. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's going to hit right around Mother's Day. Let's do Sarah Wiggum.
So, this event ends on the 9th, which is the Wednesday before Mother's Day. So if they were going to launch a mini event, a Mother's Day-centric mini event, that would be the perfect opportunity to, 1, do that, and 2, bring in Sarah Wiggum. Just saying.
And it would be a cash cow, because I'm going to guess that they're going to pull that thing where you have to buy donuts to get the character when they do her. And I'll do it. I don't care. I've been stealing enough donuts now with Safi's help.
It's not stealing.
I'm blaming it all on Safi, the entire donut thing. You've made it seem palatable. It doesn't feel evil your way. So.
It's not. First of all, it's not stealing, so it's not evil.
Okay.
So I will say that if I think that's an airplane. I will say that if we get a Mother's Day mini event with Sarah Wiggum, I'm going to go out and buy lottery tickets because I've also been saying Sarah Wiggum was coming for like 6 months. And so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at least.
All right. I just want to give a quick update on the rollback bug. There's still loads of players impacted by it. We did a whole show about it 2 weeks ago. New ones every day, and people don't even know what's wrong with their game. They just say something's going on, and they don't even realize that they have the glitch. No word from EA other than they're working on it. So I don't know, guys. It's getting
serious enough now where they need to pay attention, because I've actually had a number of people that had asked me to look at their town that actually emailed me and said, hey, I got the rollback bug. I've quit playing. I nuked my town. Sorry. And it was like, whoa, okay, that's drastic. But I do get it, you know. It's really annoying, and EA is not being helpful, period. So.
Yeah, and it's getting bad. So
Safi?
No,
I'm still here.
Oh, there he is. Sorry.
Hi.
Yeah, no, it's getting bad. It's not. They got to get on this. They got to get this fixed, and it's getting to the point now where it's impacting a lot more players every day. Every day, somebody new is impacted. So they've really got to get on this and get this corrected.
Just even an update would be appreciated. Like, you know, that they are aware of it, they're working on it, something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's do an update from Nuclear Safi and his wasteland of a town.
So, an update from Safi. I'm actually playing my game right now. One sec. So, I thought Pat just said he didn't want any more videos of cities that are just floppers.
Well, you're not going to make the video cut. Sorry, Safi. Go ahead.
Well, here's a video of my Springfield. Let's see. Let me go to some areas that are nice, actually, that aren't quite plopped down. I'll start in the corner. Where am I going here? So, can you guys see the screen? I don't know.
Let's get a little closer, I think.
Let me bring you up just so you're solidly on there. There you go. You're good.
All right. So, I'll start with the beach area. So, not much has changed here. I still spell out Toronto. Got to represent.
Nice.
And then, yeah, I got all my water Squidport area with all the Squidport stores, some islands in the middle of the ocean, boats and resorts and crab islands. I got my whole recycling area with all 3 buildings for the rail yard. I got all my little resorts here. I'm working on getting my boardwalk complete so that it can connect this boardwalk with this one here. So my yellow submarine's hard at work. From farming, I got a whole little area, a large land farm, if you will. From
it's a lot of large lads. It's a lot of donuts.
I was gonna say, fail. You just got booted for sure out of the video. Fail. Go ahead.
I got my little residential area here with all the houses. I got some open space for potential future houses. So I got my school area right next to this, an educational area right next to the houses. What else? I got stone cutters and Monsorno area. A little winter wonderland type of area.
Look at all the ice.
Yeah, ice
Flop
baby.
down like a true Canadian.
Oh, I should put that in my Canada section.
Say, you may get a letter from the Toronto Tourism Board for false advertising that Toronto actually has a Caribbean port. But, you know, what the heck? You know.
We do. We have Toronto Islands, so don't...
That's right.
I got my little wizarding area. I need to work on my military area. That's the next section, but that's going to go over here. I got my little Quickie Mart farm area here. Ooh, I see a... whatever those guys are. What else can I? Special agents, thank you. I got this area is going to be my police and fire and prison area. I'm going to show you my little Toronto area now.
Look at all the green space, guys.
That's where I'm going to be adding more stuff. This is Welcome to Canada. And then, of course, I got my Blue Jays logo here.
Oh, nice.
Got to represent. On my Canada section, I also have Virgil's cabin there in the corner.
That's pretty nice. What'd you make that out of, Safi?
So these
Looks
are
like ice sculptures.
all ice sculptures here.
Oh, yeah.
For the white part, I got the dark blue is telephone booths. The light blue is beach chairs. The
Nice.
blue beach chairs, obviously. And the Canada flag is made out of newspaper stands.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
I like
So
it.
yeah, got to represent Toronto. Then City Hall and all that is in this area. What else is this area is kind of just coming together now. I still have to work on my apartments.
So what I'm gathering is your town is still a wasteland, sort of, but
Somewhat,
nobody's
yeah.
glowing.
Yep,
No,
exactly.
I think what he's going for is like endorsement dollars from Toronto. That's where
Maybe.
I'm going.
This is
Maybe.
my casino
He spent
area
of
with
his
all the
time doing
casinos.
endorsement deals. Yeah.
Problem is, I don't know where to put my the 2 new casinos we just got because
Inventory.
The casino area is already quite full. I got
Yeah, I was
my
gonna say, you have plenty of
airport.
green there, though.
Yeah, it's hard to expand though once you play down the roads and the monorail. This is my nature area. I worked on my Krusty Land too. I'm actually really proud of that. I'm going to show you guys that too quickly. Where is this? Is going to be the gaming area with all the games. This is my entertainment district.
Your lad is throwing tomatoes at you for saying she's an EA troll, or he.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody has an opinion.
And while we wait, here we go. All right. So this is my Krusty Land area where I put the Valentine's Day stuff. And then I got all my little rides and stuff here. The Itchy and Scratchy Castles, the restaurants, all the little Happy Little Elves ride, the log ride. Ooh, I built a little go-kart ride. Haunted house, the hotel. I got all my little 7 Duff beer guys.
Look, Pat, Surly Duff, just like you.
There we go.
Then I got a little walkway with the Valentine's Day decorations. And a little hidden gazebo for those who are in the romantic mood. It leads all the way to the Tunnel of Love. And then I got all the games and activities around here.
So it's nice to see somebody cares about Krusty Land.
Yes, he spent more time on Krusty Land than he did Springfield.
Yeah, so that's an update from Nuclear Safi.
Looks like it's coming along.
Yeah, it looks like you need a United Nations infusion of capital, though, to get some of that green filled in there.
Thank God.
The post-nuke world.
Yeah.
I just spilled water all over the place, so just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. Okay. Water down. This is like the best show ever. You're coming from a car. I couldn't plug my computer in. Safi spilled water everywhere. Good stuff.
Just spilled water?
Yeah, you didn't hear me say he spilled water everywhere. He's got to go clean it up.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Nice.
It's a quality show here. We're A++ professionals, let me tell you.
The production value just slid right off the box. Anyway, all right.
Well, Patrick, while we're waiting... Oh, now he's back. I was going to say, you should tell everyone about Jake.
We're doing the battle of the thermostat in the car here. My wife likes it warm. I like it cool. We've now turned it up and down 14 times in the last 9 minutes, as you know. I'm starting to sweat. There's Mrs. Miller. Hello, Mrs. Miller.
Hello. We've always had climate issues between us.
Climate issues. All right, there we go.
You need the car with the dual controls. You know, like my car has that. The dual.
No, we don't have that. We're not fancy enough.
I stick my head out the window like a dog.
All right, Patrick, you should tell everyone about Jake.
Yeah. So since the last episode, we've had the latest addition to the Miller progeny, and Jake is what they're calling him. Jacob Patrick McGuire came into the world I've posted about it a little bit online. Anybody that's a Facebook friend has seen more pictures than they ever wanted to see the rest of their life of the little guy. But it was really fun yesterday. CBS this morning, where Katie works, actually showed a picture of Jake and his brothers at the end of the show. So great fun there. He's gone
He's adorable
already. I'm looking for an agent already. So we will
Nice.
be back in that part of the country next week. A week from now, we'll be in New Jersey visiting the newest edition in person, getting some of that baby smell.
And Patrick just wants Rita's.
I'm sorry, what?
Patrick just wants Rita's.
Yes, Rita's now. Rita's.
All right, so it is almost May. You know, Tuesday is going to be May 1st. So as May approaches and everybody's schedule gets a little crazy, as you can tell, it's crazy today because Patrick's coming to us from a car. So May is likely going to be the last month until through the summer that we do 2 episodes. And then June, July, August, we'll probably just do 1. We may take 1 month off, depending on what's going on. Everybody's schedules get really crazy this time of the year, so it's really hard to try to mesh everything together. So May will be the last month we do 2 episodes until the fall. And then June, July, August, maybe September, we're just going to do 1 episode. 1 episode, and then and we may take a month off. We have to figure that out, unless something major is going on and we need to do another show. If something crazy hits, we didn't do a show about it. We may pop in and do a show. Yeah, hopefully that comes next week. So, and another announcement for those who have been asking profusely, Riley is going to be a big sister. In about 4 months. Yes, I waited way longer to tell you guys than I did last time. But I am about 22 weeks pregnant. So, which explains why I've been so crabby to some of you, and I apologize. But there's no filter when you're pregnant.
It may also explain why we may take October off. So.
September. The baby is due September 1st, or August 31st, depending on who you ask. But so we will be a little crazy in the fall. It'll be interesting. But yes, Riley will be a big sister, and we may do another baby pool. We'll see how I feel. See if I like you guys enough to do one. But that's it from us. Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
No,
not really. Not after that.
I think I'll just point out again that those of you that many of you who sent me requests for me to look at your town for the Fridays, I'm going to be doing those kind of onesie-twosie at a time. It takes a long time to do those, and I do want quality towns. So I'm finding bits and pieces that I think are great, but I'm not big into ploppers and I'm not big into giant house farms. So that's twice now Safi's out. Sorry, Safi.
Well, while we're on
I already got a video, so I'm good.
While we're on the subject, though, Pat, Charles says, Patrick, you need to do a Critics Corner telling people what's wrong with their towns.
Actually, that's a good idea.
I think it should be self-evident. The person that should be doing that is Ebron, because she is so sweet about helping people design and whatnot. And even this is going to get me into my last rant of the day.
Uh-oh.
She is now at this place where every single time she places something, it's all temporary. So I made a joke that looking at her town is like looking at one of those Buddhist sand sculptures that gets washed away every few weeks in the wind. Yeah, because it's like a couple of things that I featured in the video are already gone. She has no monorail. She has no shopping section. So anytime she wants to design something, she's got to blow something up. So EA, if you want to keep us happy, get rid of that wall. Tear down that unit wall. So anyway, unit limit wall. That's the only thing I would say is that, you know, those people that really like to design bump into that limit all the time now. It's constant. If you're going to give us a bunch of stuff like they are in this event, keep those limits going up more than just 100 items. So anyway, there we go.
All right. Anyone else have anything like that? Safi, any rants you'd like to make now, Safi?
No rants. Just want to remind everyone in North America, tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. on Global, 8 p.m. on Fox. Don't forget Simpsons' record-breaking episode. Should be a good one.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everyone that it is spring and the weather's getting nice. So go outside. Spend some time outside. It's nice.
There you go. Put down your Padular device. You have a little life.
Listen, you can bring your Padular device outside, but go outside. Get some fresh air. It's good for you.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, guys. We will see everyone in a couple of weeks. I'll announce when the next episode is going to be. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. We'll see what's going on. But enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you all next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
All right. Be careful when you go in the house.